Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 2 of the WURK and BOLEY project. So, in this episode, WURK and I are just going to be pretty much talking about the work that we've been doing together. So, we're going to kind of start off with our first project, which was a Black Youngster showcase. So I'm gonna work through the photo side of things, and then WURK over here is gonna go through the video side of things. So I can tell you this, there's a massive difference in quality from the Nikon versus the Sony. This episode is being shot on my Sony a7S Mark III, which my buddy Parker Foster graciously sold to me. He's a fabulous cameraman from New York City, so huge shout out to him. How long have you been doing this?
Which one?
Probably photos, because I know you're a hybrid.
Photos since, I'll say, 2008. So it's been a long time.
For people that can't do mental math real quick, how long is that approximately?
I'm gonna say 11, 12 years.
And in photography?
You mean videography?
Oh, so both?
Yeah, videography, I've been doing it about roughly 8, 9 years, but photography was like 12 years, which even before then, I started out in graphic design, so I wasn't always a photographer, so I've been doing graphic design since like 2006. So, you know.
And you've been on tour with these artists too. Tell us about what that's like to be able to do that. Like jump on a Sprinter or a plane and just go for it.
I mean, it's cool because, you know, you link up and you find different clients as well as, you know, just opening up the marketplace for the craft itself. But yeah, I meet a lot of artists, you know.
Who have you met so far that you can name, anyways? Because you're in a position that a lot of photographers would love to be in. You know, is it everything that it looks to be hyped to be, I guess is the proper way to say it?
It goes back to when they say, if you're doing something you love, it ain't work. And that's true, but at the same time, it can be kind of, you know, it can be frustrating at times, especially when dealing with clients that, you know, just the attention span real short. You know, you might tell them, look, I'm trying to get this one shot. I just need you to stand right here. Before you know, they're all over the place. They're bouncing back and forth, and they sometimes aggravating, and sometimes I just go with the flow and just keep shooting. And sometimes we get something nice. Sometimes I have to do a lot of patchwork. But you know.
The judgment calls on probably about 50% of the 50% of the time you're making judgment calls on. You know, I'd like to get a shot, but is it worth stopping the star of the show to say, hey, you know, let's get this right here, because, you know, some shots may take a few tries. It's like, how much time do we actually have to get this done? And
you know what, I do that, but, I mean, yet still, by me being a director, if the client, you know, you can only, because it gets tiresome saying to the same thing over and over repetitively to a grown person, you know. So I just kind of keep it, I just try to be firm, friendly, and fair, and just go with the flow. Like,
gotcha.
I won't make a big issue about it. I just try to come up with something far as the post-production and just chop it up there. But you know, a lot of times, but like, still I deal with a lot of clients that do, you know, so kind of follow my vision. But for the most part, you know, you do have that very few that all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be fun. It'd be funny, man.
And it's exhausting work too.
It is.
What I rest in the fact is that I'm not going to get every shot. So I'm going to take 100 photos probably within the first 2 minutes of arriving anywhere, and there's going to be a dope shot that I'll see and I'll miss it because they happen in milliseconds.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? Or it'll be one that I'm like, hey, there's probably a dope shot coming up, and I'll see it and I'll go, like, if you've already taken 200 pictures and you're moving around and you're like, oh, a dope shot just happened, but I didn't get it, I'm like, it's okay, the next one's coming up. The next one's gonna come up. Because as much as I like to get the behind the scenes and the cool footage that you're gonna see of him in these pictures, actually, this is the behind the scenes of WURK doing his thing. I just like the fact that I'm like, okay, there's no way possible that I can capture literally every second, especially when it's not planned. You know, like some artists will be like, okay, I'm gonna do this move here and this move here, and you know that, so you plan for that. But when it's just like them meeting people, I'm like, okay, are they gonna be bro hugging it out? Are they gonna have a special handshake? Like, what kind of moments?
Most of it is like running guns.
Yeah,
you just running.
Exactly.
It's just spontaneous.
But you have to be careful with running gun too, because a lot of times, like you and I were talking about a couple days ago, it's like you just sit there and you'll start spinning off ideas and you'll waste time thinking about stuff rather than just going this idea and go shoot it and then keep moving. So this is an industry where I really like to know, and I've talked to WURK about this many times before, is when are we starting and when are we coming out of it? Because a lot of these local little events that we do, they'll keep you there indefinitely. Like they'll just have you sitting there for 7-8 hours, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like my feet hurt, my hands hurt,
eyes hurt.
Like the client doesn't even have any highlights. They just want pictures. I'm like, no, like I only want to be there for a certain amount of time. You're gonna pay me X amount per hour. Like this is what to expect, and after I get done, I'm gonna send you 20 highlight photos. Everything else after that, it's gonna be X amount for each picture. Do you have any particular moments that you want me to really capture? Because otherwise, I don't really like sitting there just shooting random photos of people, because at the end of the day, I'll look back and I'll go, I don't even want to send these to anyone. Like this has no one knows what's going on here. And these people are never gonna remember me. They're never gonna reach out to me.
It's just a lot of clutter.
It is. I'd rather collect the stuff that matters than just unless you want to pay me to show up and randomly shoot photos, I can do that all day long if that's what my objective is. But most of the time, like if you're at a Father's Day event or if you're at, a showcase, I'm like, okay, if I'm taking pictures of a crowd, like who exactly, if I want to shoot a room, who's this going to? Who am I trying to show this to?
Right.
Like,
what is my actual subject?
Right. Because if it's no one in particular, then it's like, okay, who's the club owner?
Right.
I want to get this to you because then he can use that as marketing. Because any photographer, anybody with a camera can take that same shot, just to put it on Instagram or Facebook and say, I was here, at the Black Youngster Showcase. So, but anyways, we're gonna get into you, behind the scenes of you doing your thing.
Okay.
So this is him covering videography, okay? So let's see here. Let's go into photo number 1.
Excuse.
So right here, matter of fact, I want to find a better picture of your stabilizer that you're actually using. Hold on. Okay, so this little contraption right here, what is this thing?
That little contraption will be the Zhiyun Weeble S with the transmitter, visual transmitter. That's extra. So it don't come with the basic package.
Okay.
The basic package for Zhiyun Weeble S run you roughly anywhere from $299 to $349.
Okay.
It's just basic.
So what all comes in this package, because I see, and I know because I work with you pretty much every day, is that you have something for your lens up here at the top, or rather I'll do this because there's screen recording here, something right here, you've got a handle right here and a handle right here. So if someone were to look at this video and want to buy this, like where would they, what are they to expect in this package?
Okay, in the package deal, you get the gimbal, of course. You get the phone / screen holder for your extra screen, so you can get your wireless video transmission. And speaking of wireless video transmission, the transmitter that comes with it is I bought it in a special package, which it ran me about a little over $800, but well worth it. Basically, they don't normally come with it, and I think they out of them. But I was just checking on Zhiyun's site like yesterday or the day before.
Right.
But they don't have any more. They out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They out a lot of stuff.
Because everything's going virtual these days. So if you're a camera guy, that can be both good and bad. So when I went to first buy my Insta360 1X, my 360 Tour camera, it was at like $395. And then suddenly, like the week that I went to buy it, it was out. And then when it was back in, it was $425.
Wow.
It was ridiculous, yeah. And then the monopod, so I bought the camera and the monopod was like $100 and then suddenly it was gone. And then a week later it was back and it was like 105 or 110. So things are just flying off the shelf. So if they were to order this, so when you ordered this, I should say, it didn't come with the handle or the little grip over here?
It came with the grip. It came with the phone grip, but it didn't come with the handle. The handle.
So it came with this one, but it didn't come with this one right here?
Right,
okay. Cool, because I've got a Ronin SC, which is pretty cool. It's heavy. How much does this thing weigh?
It's approximately, I won't say 5 pounds or less. Okay. And it's made out of plastic.
Gotcha. So I wonder what the Ronin SC is made out of then, because that thing is heavy. Yes, it wears you out.
Now, don't get me wrong, it does have a few metal pieces on it, but for the most part, it's made out of plastic. It's like, I won't say indestructible, but it can take some punches.
Gotcha.
Per se.
Okay.
So you just got money. Like I'm ready for my second one because the flight attendant. That's another story. I get kind of frustrated every time I think about it.
So this right here, though, makes your job as a videographer a little easier to steady out the shot.
It does, and it don't.
Okay, explain that.
Okay, when I say, I'm going to go with the don't first.
Okay.
When I say don't, because like with my Sony camera, it's a new camera, so, oh yeah. Speaking of which, since it's a Sony camera, I don't have the, I need the HDMI to mini.
So you need a cable for it?
So I need a cable, but that's the thing, I ordered it today.
Oh, so nice, you found it, okay.
Yeah, so it'll be here Wednesday, but
very cool.
I used to shoot with my Nikon on this Weaver list. It was just the Nikon's D7200.
Okay.
Same one you got?
Gotcha.
Okay. But it was too heavy. It's too heavy. You know, that
bulky,
camera, that camera's like 4 pounds by itself with a good lens.
Are you talking about the body or just the?
Well, with the lens.
Oh, okay, with the lens and everything.
Yeah,
okay.
It's about 4 pounds.
I got you.
Heavy piece of hardware. But anyway, and it was doing too much. It works for the gimbal for the most part, but it was just too big, and sometimes it'll keep going. Like I try to catch a shot, and it'll just go keep going down.
Yeah.
So, but the Sony, it works perfectly.
They're very compact.
Right.
They're easy to maneuver in and out of areas, which is really nice.
Right.
So.
Okay. Now we get.
And by the way, these are photos that I shot. So I'll jump over here into the photography side. So going from Nikon to Sony, it would have been a lot harder to capture this. I would have had to use flash. Matter of fact, I think I did have my first speed light, which was a newer NEEWER newer speed light.
Did you get the new speed light yet?
Yeah, it just came in today.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So the difference between these two speed lights is the newer NEEWER newer uses 4 AA batteries, which it'll overheat, and I'll get about 30 different pops out of it because I sit there and I'll work it. Because again, like I said, when you go into these showcases, you really don't know what you're looking for. So whenever he's going to one, I'm always like, okay, who are we highlighting? Because he may have a little bit more of a direction to go into. So, you know, I like doing BTS, so it gives you a little bit of an example as to what you look like what he looks like as a cameraman videoing the star. So I was using my speed light before it quit working on me. And so it's a lot easier to capture skin tones, colors. If I blow out an image or overexpose an image with the Sony, I can very easily bring it back into perfect exposure, which is really cool because on the Nikon D7200, I can't do that. It doesn't retain that quality well enough. So these are actually, the Sony helped me to step up my quality for exposure and light and different things for photos. And this is just kind of conversations. I like to capture kind of the BTS of, you know, this is the DJ, I think, right?
Yeah, that's DJ Big Dog.
DJ Big Dog right here.
DJ around the city. We have worked together before, so I done worked at events with him before, so.
Yeah, I like it when I'm a cameraman and other camera people have advised me to make best friends with the DJ. You know, Because if you need something adjusted volume-wise because you can't hear or it's too loud, then if you're friends with the DJ, he's gonna help you out. So.
Or he might call you to come to an event. You know.
It's just so crisp. It's so crisp. The picture quality from Nikon to Sony are just so well done.
Yeah.
Like you can see everybody perfectly, but still know that they're like in the dark.
It's like going from high school to the NBA.
High school to the NBA?
Yeah, like skipping college, from high school to the NBA.
Yeah.
Like for real, with the Sony camera mark.
I mean, all the details are there. What you're looking at right here, the quality of this image is if you were actually there yourself. Excluding this little splotch of light created by my speed light right here. But like other than that, I mean, it's like a perfect, like I'm there. Like that's a you're there kind of a photo.
Yep, I remember that night.
Rockstar Gang, Rockstar Row. This group of artists are very incredible at what they do. They got a ton of energy, and I love it too. This dude over here, I think this is Gorilla Dude, is it not?
Yep.
This is Gorilla Dude, Rockstar Row. They got Boo Lucky over here. So a group of incredibly talented young artists. So, and they give it 100 and probably 50%, not even 110%. They go all out. You got to watch out because their limbs start flailing everywhere. Yeah, I'm like, oh no.
I just went on the road with them to Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh yeah, they helped to open for
2 weekends ago.
Yeah, Black Youngster, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it was something.
Tell us about that experience about going to Black Youngster.
It was dope. I mean, you know, I know Youngster from the streets or whatever. Mm-hmm. Even before the music. But I mean, it was a hell of an experience. It's always a hell of an experience when you go on the road.
Yeah.
Like when you leave outside Georgia.
Is that like a vacation or is it just cool to travel? Because I would imagine it's just the same as being here. It's work, you know, just you're changing the location.
It gets tiresome toting cameras and, you know, everybody think you taking photography when I'm naturally doing videography.
Right.
So that's why, you know, I be needing you around because they be wanting, and I don't have time really unless I'm hired to do photography.
Right. And on that note too, because you can be, even as we're hybrids between the two, the setups are totally different. Because look at this setup, right? Whereas if you would do photography, you would probably want a speed light, a different lens. You wouldn't want this setup at all.
Right.
You can't. Can you? Is there a button out here where you can actually take pictures?
No.
But can you hit record on that?
If I had the proper wiring for
Gotcha.
To that camera.
So the simple answer to that is.
Or I can see, you know what? I can sync my camera to it. Mm-hmm. It tell you what model cameras it'll sync to.
Okay.
So I mean, I probably could sync because, like I say, just like a video shoot I had this weekend. Was that Saturday? The one you made?
Sunday.
That was Sunday?
Saturday or Sunday?
It was Saturday. Today Monday.
No, you with Lady T-Rex?
No.
That was Sunday.
Skrilla Rex.
Yeah, that was Sunday.
The other Rex.
No, it was Friday, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was Friday.
It was Saturday.
Yeah. Anyways, it was sometime this previous weekend.
No, it was Friday.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, it was Friday. So we shot the video, and it was crazy because, you know, you normally there with me. But I shot the video, no problem. And the quality I got from, because I thought I was going to get the quality because there was no light in the hallway, but it actually came out good. Once I looked at it today and lined it up in post-production, it looks good. I didn't even have to do any
I love it when that
color
happens.
grade.
I love it when that happens.
But I'm still going to put a touch of it on just to bring, you know, that little pop to it.
Sure.
But for the most part, I didn't have to touch it. Like,
yeah,
that was crazy.
And you make editing on Final. He edits in Final Cut Pro.
But I have all the software. I have Sony Vegas Pro,
dude.
Premiere.
You make that look so easy. You make it look so easy. You really. I mean, he's just throwing them on there and just boop 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 boop, done. So now in this picture right here, you're setting yourself up for almost a vortex to happen. Can you do a vortex on that?
Yep.
Okay. Is it just real slow or what?
It just depends on what speed your settings.
Okay.
Like most time I do like a medium speed vortex.
I got you.
Of course, the video I shot Friday, I used the vortex in it as well.
Okay.
So I did a little work. I hadn't used it in a while. Like when I first got it, I was vortex crazy. I might have shot like 3 videos with the vortex.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I've been on, I shot like 10 since then. So now I just really started using it last week again.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but it's an incredible piece of machinery.
So going back to the previous subject there, because I know I don't know if we answered this question in full about whenever you go on the road with artists, right?
Okay.
Definitely work, more vacation, like because I know that I was invited out to the Carolinas.
Don't get it twisted. It's work. So your other camera guys out there, when you go on these tours with these artists,
You were not on vacation.
They're expecting you to capture certain moments, certain
Hyper alertness.
right. And it was crazy because when I was shooting in Birmingham, I was stop and go because I was captain. I was on the stage, off the stage.
Yeah.
Just for every artist, each artist, I was just moving around, getting different angles and different shots, video-wise.
Right.
So I could snap something together, just for their.
Well, right there, you also just dropped a huge piece of advice to all cameramen, whether you're experienced, new, or somewhere in the middle, is because you said in Birmingham there was another fantastic photographer who was afraid to get in their faces really up close. These guys are wanting that. If you can somehow incorporate getting close, but also showing the crowd that they're in front of with them in the picture, and get that to them, I mean, you're gonna show, hey, I can capture you with the crowd you're attracting in one photo.
But what I think it was with the guy, he been doing photography. I think his dad started out doing photography, and he took it upon himself and started doing it after his father. But I think he was intimidated because most of the women were strippers, and he was scared to get closer.
Oh, so he was kind of using discretion, like how close should I need to get, kind of thing.
Yeah, so he was kind of pretty much shadowing me. So I told him, I like, dude, they love to be seen. They love this camera.
Huge advertising and marketing.
Work the camera. It's like doing a dance. It's like dancing. Just
kind of like you and I. I mean, we're just always like, what angle do you want to get?
Finesse the camera and just use your eyes and just capture because they're gonna interact with the camera.
Right.
Once they know that, whether film or photography, their camera point at their subject gonna react.
Right.
It's very rarely you get somebody that don't want to be in front of the camera.
I've had that happen to me a few times. It's kind of awkward, but
it is, so.
Either they'll yell at you or they'll hurry up and get out the way.
Or they'll tell you, hey, look, erase that picture.
Yeah. They'll be like, I don't want to be here. So.
Hey, don't get me in that video.
Low light photography. Okay, this is what we are in most of the time.
Right.
Okay. Sony's are wonderful. Our cameras are really wonderful to take into these environments and shoot what we need to shoot. So this is him holding up his, how do you pronounce it?
Zhiyun.
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 Weeble S.
Weeble S. So with this thing here, I mean, the main function of this is to steady out that shot, to make it to where it's as close to buttery smooth as possible.
And you notice it got 2 handles on it, right?
Yeah.
So I got the regular control handle, which doubles as a tripod.
Right.
So this handle I added to
this one right here?
Yeah, so it didn't come with the second handle. You have to buy your other handle, but it has the lock plate for it.
So it has this.
Yeah, that come with it. So
this does not come with it. You have to purchase this.
Right.
Okay,
and
purchase
so
that separately.
What that does is you grab it there, they give you another angle. So if you want to get a low shot, it's like next to doing nothing, getting that low angle shot.
I got you.
So, I mean, and it's good for like overhead shots as well. So
yeah, it gives you you're good?
Yeah, I'm good. I thought I broke my elbow.
It gives you a lot of leverage, that's for sure. It helps when your equipment is really high quality and lightweight.
Right.
Because it encourages you to keep shooting even longer.
And when you say lightweight, the way the world's set up now, everything is like compact is the way to be. You know what I'm saying? So
especially as a cameraman, because you have
better.
so much stuff like this podcast set. You know, like you have to have a certain environment. Like you want to know where you're going to go to, because when I go somewhere that I don't know what I'm going to need, I have to bring everything with me.
Yep.
And you know, and what if the area is not very good? You know, it's like now you have all of your stuff.
And what about no power?
Right, like whenever you think about it, it's like, well, you know, if you don't bring the right lens, but you have the batteries, now it's like, I don't have the right lens for this, you know? So it's, you have to bring everything. Like you can't just not think of everything. You have to be like, what am I gonna need? I don't know what I'm gonna need.
If you bring the wrong lens and you just so happen to bring the equipment you need, now you flying on a whim, now you're on the fly.
Right.
So now you gotta create stuff on the fly while doing it in a timely manner.
Right.
So, you know, it can cost you time and money.
Exactly. But there's going to be lessons to be learned along the way. Of course, there's the experienced camera people that are probably watching this is probably going, yep. Don't be afraid to fail, okay? Listen, if
it comes with the territory.
If JFK can be assassinated while the Secret Service is protecting him, okay, and still retain their jobs, any mistake you make won't cost you yours. It may cost you a client, but it won't cost you your job.
That's a hell of an analogy.
Is it not?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense.
Because there's times where, like, there are times where I feel like, oh man, I failed. But I'm like, well, I'm like, you know what? Nobody died from my mistake.
Right.
You know, and this person did die, and these same people still work for the same organization. So if they can literally, you know, be 30 deep around one individual, and that one individual still die, and they're still on the job and haven't lost anything, which I don't know if they actually did get fired or not, but the organization itself of the Secret Service is still there. They didn't get fired. Then if I make a mistake as a cameraman, then I can relax because I'm like, it was a mistake on my part and no one died. Like, no one's gonna come after me. I'm like, oh, well, you messed up the shot. Okay, well, that's what it is.
What I think what that'll lead to is the client not wanting to pay or wanting to lowball, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy.
Yeah. But hopefully you don't find yourself in any of those extreme situations, which is helpful whenever you're helping a rising artist, because they're going to have more patience with you. Because I think that if you can go from just starting out with, like, as soon as you start, you're suddenly, and by some luck, with one of the high rollers, then I mean, that's going to be a ton of pressure because you really don't know what to expect of yourself or of the artist or what they're wanting from you. Because, you know, if you start off with someone really, really small and just starting off, you're going to be able to understand how the client thinks and the environments and all this other stuff. So you're going to, all this small stuff, all the small tedious shooting, once you hit that peak of just success going up the ladder, you'll have already accumulated all this experience. So by the time you hit, you know, the hard hitters and the people that are extremely famous and wealthy, you're going to be an experienced cameraman, so you're not hitting them as a one-hit wonder.
So, to add to what you just said, so I know it's a lot of upcoming videographers, photographers out there trying to, you know, market themselves and get yourself. Never, to the up-and-coming videographers and photographers, never let anyone tell you, determine your worth as far as your craft. Say, for instance, never let anyone say that they are the reason you're in your position.
Right.
It's not true because, one, they're not paying for your gear. Two, they don't have the skill set to do it themselves. And three, they not paying your bills. So if this is what you do to pay your bills, don't let no one, artist, actor, athlete, anybody, billionaire, I don't care. Just keep putting out great work and try to stay consistent. And another thing is, don't be afraid to be on a team. Like far as, it's like us.
I agree with you on that.
Film, like, as far as what you do, the craft. Find some guys to work with because it's going to take more than one just photographer. Anybody can shoot a video, but you want to have guys around you that, you know what I'm saying, that just well-rounded, per se. You want a guy that can do photography, videography, edit. You want somebody to do pretty much everything I do. I want somebody beside me that can pretty much do it too. The way we can, and, you know, build a team around it.
Right.
So that's the main goal, but never let nobody determine your worth. If you out there sweating and purchasing your own gear and studying the skill and the craft, man, never let no one tell you what your prices should be.
Right.
It just sometimes it's good to lose client. I do it all the time, so you know. Hey,
Yeah.
so
You're not going to retain 100% of people, unfortunately. So, but yeah. So we do. He does graphic design. I don't. There's some things that he does that I don't do. But as far as editing and photography, videography, like we do those three main things. But you know, he uses different programs than I do. So. It's collaboration. It's what a lot of YouTubers are doing right now. You know, like they're all in friendly competition for the most subscribers, but they'll be in each other's video because they're wanting to share subscribers.
Together.
Let's build our income. Let's build our fan base. So don't look at, you know, another cameraman as, oh, he's stealing my work. Look at it from
competition.
Yeah, like, oh, I have to beat you. Like, why do you gotta beat him?
Because anywhere I go and I see a guy with a camera, I'm intrigued. I want to, like, what do you shoot? I'm always looking at the hardware, seeing what they shoot with, or the lenses, and we just strike up a conversation from there. And you know, it leads on to other things. Some of them we work together, some we don't. Some I never hear from again. But a lot of time I see a lot of them in the same places that I be at in these events. So, you know, and we remember each other, and, you know, some of us connect, some don't, but, you know, for the most part, I love the community of which I'm in, so.
Yeah, most camera guys are really cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have yet to really run into one that's arrogant, or that's cocky, or that's just like all about
himself. But they cool. I know some cocky ones. I work with some cocky ones. They cool, love them to death. I work with him again. He know anything I got he can use, or, you know, vice versa, but he cocky as hell. He know who I'm talking about. I will not drop names, but shout out to my boy. You know, we rocked about a year or two ago, so I was on his staff, so, you know, good dude too, man.
Right. It's the really smart ones that you want to learn from, but some of them are just like, they come off as just so cocky that you're like, I want to learn from you, but it's really hard because... Or
they're so seasoned to, you know, to where you can't...
They're almost like hardcore drill sergeant type of people. So.
Yeah, it is.
But a majority of the time, you know, they're very chilled and very cool people. So it's just about ideas and coming together. I mean, I'm learning stuff from him that I didn't know about. He's learning stuff from me that he didn't know about. So, but that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So next time we're trying to get together. We're trying to come up with the artists that we want to have on the show, and really talk to them about being an artist, the industry, what they're seeing on their side. Right now we've got, because it's 2021, everything's virtual, we're learning about these industries that have been billion-dollar industries, trillion-dollar industries that we really didn't know much about. You know, like T-Pain's producing stuff, Gucci Mane, like all these podcasts are just going on there and they're talking about it. I don't know if you guys are awake to that fact, but when I go on Instagram, I see rap culture, rap stuff, and they're talking about so-and-so just landed a $10 million deal, and it's like, well, but let's break the numbers down. They're actually earning only about $350,000, but they're spending like they just actually pocketed $10 million, and they're saying, you know, this is how much the agent's making, this is how much the people are making. So $10 million is quickly whittled down to, you know, $350,000, which is still a lot of money, but it's not like he took home in his pocket $10 million after tax and after paying all of his people. No. So that's actually a really cool thing of opening it up and going, oh, if I go into this as an artist, this is what I am to expect. So, but we are running at 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes here. So we're gonna wrap it up. We hope that you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for joining us.
Man, every day, man. We appreciate you guys.
Sir, hit subscribe. Hit the bell icon. That's the notification. Every time we upload, it'll alert you to whenever we have a new podcast episode project there. So leave us comments. We like to hear from you guys about what you guys would like to see, hear, what we were really what we grabbed your attention to. So anyways, love y'all, fam. We'll see you guys in episode number 3. Peace.
Dulce.